Okay. Okay. Cool. So, good evening once again. Welcome to class. Um, that was our day. How we all doing? That was our day. And happy Sunday to everyone. So, to start quickly, to just go to the point, since our time is fast spent, I would just want like one person to just give us a summary of yesterday's class. Like I said, I'm going to always ask about a summary. So just one person to just volunteer to give us the one person to summarize yesterday's class, just like 5 minutes. So can anyone volunteer? Any volunteer? Just raise your hand. Nobody wants to volunteer. Okay, should I call names? Should I call names then? If I don't say any volunteer in like the next 10 seconds, I'm going to call someone. Okay, there's no volunteer. Olushola, please can you unmute yourself and just summarize what we learned yesterday in 5 minutes? No 5 minutes, like in 5 minutes, basically. I'm waiting, Olushola. I'm waiting. Are you here? Okay. So okay, I think Olushola is not here. Um JCHUB I don't know your name. So please can you unmute your mic and unmute yourself and summarize what we learned yesterday? Unmute yourself now. Okay, noisy. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Okay, so we are listening. We can't hear you again. Oh. If you are speaking, you are muted. Hello. Okay, I think it's off as well. Rotimi, please can you unmute yourself and summarize about yesterday's class? Please, am I audible? Like, can anyone hear me? Am I audible? Hope I'm not speaking to myself. Hello? Okay. See if I can't hear me. Hello? Am I audible? Can just someone just give reaction or just unmute yourself and talk? We don't summarize. Shut talk. Am I audible? Okay. Ha. And you people always made me um refresh my page or just leave the meeting and come and join again. So okay, since I'm audible, Rotimi, is it that you don't have anything to say or you didn't learn anything yesterday? Same with the second person I called. Is it that you don't have anything to say or you didn't learn anything? Is that it? Okay. Mojola Jason, can you unmute yourself and summarize? All right. Okay. Since nobody wants to talk, let's just get into this class then. I will just assume that you learned something. Okay. Ifeoluwa, welcome. I think this is the first time I'll be seeing this name in class. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just get into this class. Okay, do you want to say something? You can unmute yourself. Unmute your mic. All right, so I'm just going to get to this class. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Since I even asked about summary now and nobody talked. Now, if I asked about the assignment I gave everyone, nobody, I doubt if I'll get any and or anything, but no problem, no problem. So let's just share our screen and get right into this class. Okay, so can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen? Hey, God. All right. If I just killing my morale, but no problem. Okay. So for today's class, we're going to be talking about the design thinking process. So you say I asked everyone to the assessment I gave yesterday was that everyone should read about design thinking process. And my plan was to adjust ask like give summary of what you read, but even yesterday's class, I don't get summary. Let's talk of assessment. Oh, okay, let's just benefit of that. Did anyone read on this design thinking process? Did anybody read? If you read on it, just raise up your hand. Just click on just read and if you did, just raise your hand. All right, so please unmute yourself and give us what you read about in like 2 minutes. Unmute yourself. Or is it that you guys cannot unmute yourself here? I don't think I make it. Hello. All right. So So to design, you have to take some steps, and before take some steps alongside your before you get to your final products. So design thinking is like the process of solving problems by about. Like I said yesterday, whoever has to make sure that we put our users first. We put our users first. We are or whatever we are doing is centered around our users. So this design thinking now is just sure that the proper research is done before you begin product or designing the be able to understand your users' pain points and to be able to understand your users like the problem statements why we are creating that particular product. So that's just what design thinking process means. So it has to like confirm that proper research is for you to identify your problem statements, for you to come up with a solution, for you to come up with like an interface, like a presentation of your solution. So you have to make sure that there's proper research done. Then also it is an act of brainstorming or research to make sure that the product that we are coming up with is solving an actual problem. It's solving an actual problem, a real problem. So that's our design thinking process. That's also a so design thinking process. So it's an act of brainstorming or thinking of ideas on a proper research to understand the problem and also brainstorming to get solutions to get ideas or solutions and to make sure that the solution you come up with is solving the problem. So that's design thinking process. The benefits of design thinking process. The benefits of design thinking process. Number one, design thinking plays the needs of the needs and experience of users at the forefront of the problem solving process. That is, whatever thing we are doing, whatever solution we are coming up with, we have to it helps us to place our users first. It helps us to place the needs of our users first. Then the second one is that design thinking is an iterative process that allows for revisiting and refining solutions. Like I said yesterday, when you get when you're done with your product, you conduct a usability testing to gather feedbacks from potential users about the product or the solutions you come up with. So this is like another process of design thinking. So this particular process it's of course based on the users feedback. Okay, so based on the users feedback is to teach the solution that we okay. Okay, I think my network is that's enough. Am I- Hello.
Hello.
Okay. All right. So am I audible, please?
Yes, you're audible now.
Hey. Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please.
I can't hear you again. No, as in, like, I don't know. Maybe it's network or my phone or something, but I can't hear you again.
All right. So sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Glow is okay. Glow is just acting up. So that's switch to MCN. So am I audible now? Can everyone hear me? All right. Thank you. So let's continue. All right. Thank you. So, as I was saying, um, so let me see if this is still okay. So, as I was saying, design thinking process, like we're talking about benefits of design thinking process. So the second one is that it helps in iterative process. It's an iterative process that allows for revisiting and refining solutions. So by the time you gather your feedbacks through your usability of the process, you have to collaborate with some people. So because all this research, you cannot do it on your own. Actually, you can do it on your own, but you still need to collaborate with some set of people like the product managers, the data analysts, for example. So you still like have to collaborate with them. So this design thinking process, at each step that you take, you have to collaborate with people outside your skills. So the fourth one is that it encourages a positive mindset that views challenges as an opportunity for innovation. So this process, because you get to some stage that you will have to think, you have to analyze whatever thing that you come up with, and you will always face challenges. There's no how, you always face challenges, but as a UX designer, you have to counter it. Whatever challenge you face, you will see it as an opportunity for you to bring up something that is nice, bring up something that is cool, that makes sense. So it will help you to it is like you think of innovative ideas, you think of creative ideas, you think of ways to solve those challenges or to counter those challenges. So that is another benefit of design thinking. Then yeah, we are going to see the stages of design thinking. We are going to be seeing the stages of design thinking. The first stage is that now, mind you, these stages is not like you can just scatter everything together. These stages, they are like you have the first one. No, you have to like follow it one by one. So the first step is empathy stage. The second one is define stage. The third one is ideate stage. The fourth one is prototype. Okay, are you guys with me? Was I hello? Can you guys hear me? Did my network break at some point? Okay.
Yes, my network did
All
break at
right,
some
thank you.
places at
Please,
some
in
time.
case you cannot hear me again, please just let me know. Just like unmute yourself and talk. Because I don't know why this network is acting up. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about this design thinking process stage one by one. So the first one is empathize stage. So this is like the first stage of the design thinking process that focuses on the user-centric design. Yesterday, I talked about user-centric design under the fundamentals of the principles of UX design. We talked about user centricity, that you always have to put your users at first. You have to put your users at first. Whatever thing that you are doing, it has to be centered around your users. So this is the first stage of design thinking process, which focuses on user-centric design. In this stage, you will want to gain like an empathic understanding of the problem you are trying to solve. That is, You gain an in-depth knowledge of the problem that you're trying to solve. You learn more about your users' needs and their pain points. You learn more about it, and you'll be able to like have like an in-depth knowledge or understanding of the kind of problem that your user is facing, or the pain points or their needs. So as a designer, you need to understand the needs, the feelings, and the perspective of the end users. Empathy is crucial to problem solving and a human-centered design process, as it allows design thinkers to set aside their own assumptions about the world and gain real insights into users and their needs. So I said yesterday that you don't think for your users. Whatever decision you are making, you have to make sure that they are centered around the users. They are based on the knowledge that you have about your users. So it's this particular stage, it will help you to set aside what you know about that problem, or no, let me say about the problem, let me say about the product, or your own assumption about it, or your own thinking about it. You are going to set it aside, and you work towards what your user wants. Like you gain like an in-depth understanding, and you gain real insight into what your user wants. So what someone thinks or feel. You don't assume for your user. You don't think for your user. You ask them what they need and you work towards that. So you don't just assume that your user wants this or your user wants this. No. You don't feel for them. So you work towards what they want. That is why you need to gain like a real you need to gain in-depth knowledge about them. Then the aim of this empathy stage is that you develop the best possible understanding of your users, their needs, and the problems that underlie the development of the product or service you want to create. So you have to like gain like depth knowledge on why you want to you have to gain in-depth knowledge on why you want to create this particular product. So that is for the empathy stage. The goal of this empathy stage is that you understand your users, you understand their needs and pain points, you gather informations about them, you gather informations about what they want. So that is for the empathy stage. Now for the define stage, the next stage. Now in this stage, this is where you analyze all the informations that you've gotten from the empathy stage. The empathy stage, you gather information about the user pain points and their needs. Then the define stage, you now define the problem. You give it a problem statement. You draft out a problem statement from the informations that you got from your users in the empathy stage. So here you will organize the information you have gathered during the empathize stage. You will analyze your observations to define the core problems you and your team have identified up to this point. That is, you come up with a reasonable and actionable, meaningful problem statement. So that is the goal of the define stage. This is where you gather, you create a meaningful problem statement based on the information that you got in the empathize stage. So, and this particular thing is what we call the point of view. So this problem statement, now the problem statement to be like a guiding statement that will focus on the insights and the needs of a particular user, so that you'll be able to know what you channel on. So when you are coming up with your solution, the problem statement will be like a guide to tell you, it's be like a summary of what your user needs, so that you'll be able to come up with a solution that aligns with the needs. So these insights don't often jump into your laps. Rather, they emerge from a process of synthesizing information to discover patterns and connections. We basically you don't have one user. You gather information from like 5 or 6 users, or let's say minimum of 3 or 4 users. So, and you know that most of them, they may give different different view about what you're trying to create, or the product you're trying to come up with, or they give different problem statements. But now yours is that from the information you gathered from those 5 users, you connect them together. You connect, like there's no how there will be like the same thing. There'll be something that you connect everything together, that you'll be able to come up with a reasonable time with a reasonable or actionable problem statement. So that is for the define stage. The empathy stage, you gather your informations about your users. The define stage, you come up with problem statements. You analyze the information you got to come up with problem statements. Then for the next stage now is the ideate stage. This ideate stage is the stage that allows you to generate ideas. So you generate ideas and you table them out. You table them out. Solve the problem or provide the elements required to circumvent it. So in this idea stage, basically all this grammar, what it means is that in this idea stage, you come up with different ideas, you generate different ideas. This is where you come up with different ideas to be able to solve the problem that your user has, the problem statements you generated from your users. So you generate ideas and your teams, you come up with different ideas and you table them out. Then you use some other techniques. There are some techniques that we use in ideation stage. We'll still get to that. So you use some other techniques to be able to pick the one that is most relevant, or should I say the one that has like the best out of all the ideas. Then you go with that one. So that is what we basically do in ideation stage. It is like the brainstorming stage that you brainstorm ways on how to solve your problems, the problem statements. Now the fourth one is the prototype stage. The fourth stage is the prototype stage. Please, hope I'm still with you guys. All right. So okay, thank you. Thank you. So the prototype stage, the fourth stage is the prototype stage. So now empathy stage, you gather informations. Define stage, you come up with your problem statements. Ideate, you come up with your solutions. Now this prototype stage is where you implement or present your solutions in a way that it is understandable by the users. That is where the UI designer comes in. That is where the UI designer comes in. So this stage is aimed to identify the best possible solutions for each of the problems identified during the first three stages. Now, the solutions are implemented within the prototype, and one by one, they are investigated, accepted, improved, or rejected based on users' experience. So in this prototype stage, you present or implement the solutions that you got. You implement them. It's either you can use like a low fidelity wireframe to come up with a sketch of what you want to do. Then you conduct testing, you conduct user testing on it to be able to know that, okay, this is solving something. I need to change this, for iteration. I need to improve on this. I need to improve on this part. Okay, the user is finding it hard to understand this particular section here. I need to work on that. So that's for the prototype stage. You present your solutions in a way that it is understandable by the user. So by the time you conduct your user testing, it's then going to be investigated as your user testing. So and then accepted, improved, or rejected based on users' experience. So that's the iterative process. So you iterate on it. Then to also build tangible representations of ideas, to test and refine concepts by creating low fidelity wireframes using sketches. Like I said earlier, sketches, you can sketch your designs to just make like a sketch, a skeletal structure of what your product is going to look like. So that's it for the prototype stage. Then the last stage is the test stage. This is the final stage of the 5-stage model. So this test stage is just like where you iterate on your designs. So it is an iterative process such as design thinking. In an iterative process such as design thinking, the results generated are often used to redefine one or more further problems. So this stage, it will up your this increased level of understanding. That is, by the time you conduct your user testing, you have more knowledge or you have more understanding on the problem. So it will help you to investigate the conditions of use and how people think, behave, and feel towards the products. Because when you have created your product, you have done your product, you create your product, and you conduct user testing, it will help you to know how people feel about the product or what they think about it. If they think it's nice, if they think it's not solving their problem, if they think okay, you need to add more things to it, if they think okay, solving the problem like 50% is not solving it, it's not solving everything. So this is where you conduct like iterative, you go back to redefine your design or your product. And by doing this testing, it will help you to gain like in-depth or more understanding of what your user really wants. It helps you to gain understanding of what your user really wants. And it will even lead you to look back to a previous design in the thinking process. So you can then produce with further iterations, because as the long run, you have to like keep iterating, you conduct user testing, you keep iterating and make alterations and refinements to rule out alternative solutions. So the goal of this test stage now is that you get and you get as deep an understanding of the product and its user as possible. That is, you gain in-depth knowledge of an understanding of your users and their needs. So that is for the design thinking process. Do we all understand? Any question? Do we all understand? Do we understand? Are you guys with me?
Yes, ma.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we are going to go to the UX research. You know, yesterday I said, okay, sorry, I had to take water. So yesterday I said we are still focusing on UX design. We're focusing on UX design. So now we are going to go into UX research. How do we conduct research in UX? Okay, I'm so sorry for this. Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Good network. Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. Please, am I very audible? Just like unmute yourself and let me know. So I'm trying to switch. What's wrong with my network today? All right. So I'm so sorry for that break. I'm so sorry. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay, so like I was saying, this research process is just like your empathy stage where you gather different informations and you come up with you adapt different methods to uncover the problems that your users are facing, the needs of your user, and design opportunities. And they also review valuable information which can be fed into the design process. So that is for the definition. That is what UX research is about. Also, okay, someone raised the hand. Olushola, do you have anything to say? Please unmute yourself and talk, please.
Good evening. The empathy stage, is that where
Mhm.
we have the four W's? The where, who, and this, I don't know. Can you hear me?
The empathy
I'm
stage.
asking, is
Yes, I
that where
can.
we have the four W's, like the who, the where, and what's the third one? I don't you understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, the
Yeah,
why,
the
the
why, yeah, yeah,
what,
yeah.
the who, and the how and the who. Okay, yes, that's like it comprises of the empathy stage, the ideate stage, the it's comprised like the design process basically. The empathy stage. I said yesterday that the what is okay, what is the reason behind this product I want to create. Obviously, before we come up with a product, we are solving a problem, like I said. So the what stage is like, okay, what am I doing? So what am I okay? What am I what is the product, like what product am I trying to create? So that is for the what part. That is where you gather your user feedbacks, you gather your users sorry, not feedbacks, your users informations about what they want, about their needs. So that is for the what part. Then for the sorry, please excuse me. Okay, sorry. So now you come up with, okay, why am I doing this thing? What is the purpose of doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I creating it? What is the purpose of creating this particular product? That is for the okay, I think we start with the why, then the what's, the how and who. Yes, creating this product. Then when I guess, that is where I get my problem statement. So for the what now is to be, okay, now I've gotten my problem statement. What solution am I going to add or do to counter or to solve this problem statement, to solve the problem? So it is like a comp or a comp it comprises of the three, I think the first three stages. Yes, it comprises of the first three stages. or just say or everything. The design thinking process, it comprises of it, because when you are done getting your solution, that is the what part. Now you are going to think about the how parts. Like, I've gotten my solutions, I've gotten my problem statement, I've gotten my solutions. How will I implement the solutions? How will I present the solutions? And that is the prototype. That is the prototype stage. The empathy stage and the idea stage, like the why part. The what part is the empathy stage and the defense stage rather. The what part is the idea stage, and the how part is the how stage, the how. And now I'm done with prototyping. I'm done with presenting. I already know how I'm going to present it. Now, who are my target audience? That's like the test stage, because you are going to bring up some potential users. You're going to bring up some potential users. So you already have your target audience. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You have your target audience. So you're going to bring up your potential users to text the problem that you come up with. So did I answer your question, or are you still confused? All right, thank you. So now moving on. Sorry, is that all? Does anyone have any question? Any other question? Okay. So moving on, we're going to be talking about the division of UX research. Division of UX research. In UX research, we have two types of research. The qualitative research and the quantitative research. Qualitative research and quantitative research. Now, qualitative research aims to gather in-depth insight into users' attitudes, behaviors, and motivations, because and it focuses on the why behind the user's action. It's focused on the why behind the user's actions and preference. So this is just like where you gather in-depth knowledge of the user's attitude and their motivations. Why they do this? Why do they want this? What's the purpose? What's the reason they say they take this as a problem? Maybe the problem they have. What's the reason? Why did they see this as a problem? So this is where you got like in-depth knowledge of what they want. So it is like a market research method that focuses on obtaining data through open-ended and conversational method. That is, you ask in this qualitative research, you ask people about what they want. Qualitative means quality. Like, you have like an in-depth knowledge, an in-depth insight of what they want, of what they think of. Why did they think like this? Why are they thinking like this? What is even the motive of this problem? What is the reason why they come up with this problem? So that is for the qualitative research. Gain in-depth insight to the users' motivations, their behaviors. So we have this method of qualitative research. The first one is one you gather information, you ask them questions about what they want. So you got information too. It's like it's like the best. It's the best, but the limitation is that you can only be human beings, you may be limited to, like, let's say 2 or 3 people to have open one-on-one interview with. Sorry, one-on-one interview with. So that's the limitation. You cannot just, so you want to interview like 10 or 15 people. So that's the only limitation. You can say, okay, you can only interview like 2 or 3 people for one-on-one. But it's like the best. There are some people that when they talk, they used to express themselves. Their expression, this person really needs this. This thing is really causing, like, it's like an actual problem. It's a real problem. Okay, Olushola, you raised your hand
Sorry.
again.
Qualitative research. Are you listening? No, we have qualitative research and we have quantitative research. Are you listening? Hello?
Yeah. I am. I can hear you.
So is it under qualitative research? Is it primary research? Is it under qualitative research?
Primary research. I
No,
don't
we have
understand the
primary
primary research.
research, we have secondary research.
Okay.
So my
I don't
question
think I
is,
remember telling you about primary research and secondary research.
no, like I'm trying to get something for myself. That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Do we have do we have primary research under qualitative research? Because you are talking about we going one-on-one, do research and everything. Do we have primary research under qualitative research? I guess you understand what I'm saying.
Okay. So what's like the
Think
definition of your primary research? Have
primary
qualitative
research is
research. Do we have primary research under qualitative research?
yes,
Right.
because you are saying we have to meet people one-on-one to like ask them about so question and everything. So primary research we can also meet up to people and ask them question, do your do your interview and everything. So I don't know. Maybe it's under qualitative research too.
Okay. All right. So if I get you clearly, you are trying to say that is primary research under qualitative research, right? All right. So basically, what primary research is like the first research that you do, like the first hand information that you gather from users. So that is for primary research. So okay, let's just say that primary research is like the first design process that you come up with. The first, let's say the first design process that you did before creating your products. So the secondary research should be like, okay, after the iteration, you know that for iteration you are trying to come up with another research, because you are asking people about, you're asking users what they want. You're asking users to text your product, the product that you come up with, to test them if it's actually what they want or is not what they want. Do you get that? And also this secondary research, we can say that we can classify it under maybe you have like a competitive analysis. I mentioned, were you in class yesterday when I mentioned competitive analysis? Were you? Okay, yes. So now you come up with, when you're gathering your research on the product you're trying to work on, you conduct competitive analysis on products that are the same thing with what you want to come up with. Let's say like a fintech app, you want to design a fintech mobile app. Now, okay, it's either microfinance or like a real a bank fintech, like a fintech app. So you want to conduct on microfinance bank, you decide to pick your competitive analysis, you pick OPay, you pick them Kuda, you pick Pampay. Now, those kind of research, now you know that competitive analysis is like competing or looking at what your competitors have, and you want to come up with something that is better than theirs. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, yeah. So it is like, it's this secondary research, it's like widen, because that is what I always want my students, or whenever I'm doing anything, whenever I'm designing anything, I always conduct my um competitive analysis, because it's going to give me like an in-depth knowledge of what I want to do. It will give me like an in-depth knowledge of the solution I'm trying to do. Same thing with the usability testing, where I said that when you're done with your design, you meet with your potential users, and they will give them some tasks. Let's say for fintech now app, now you are done with your design, you go for usability test. You tell them, okay, transfer so amounts to like an account. Then the way, let's say that the reaction or their experience performing that particular action, you gather feedbacks from it. Okay, is it hard to understand? What are the features you will want to be there? Okay, do you want to be able to transfer to more than one account at a time, or do you want a way that you just, when you input like an account number, for microfinance now, you can have one account number with like three microfinance, OPay and PAMPay. I know OPay and PAMPay, they can use the same you can have the same account number with those two microfinance. So okay, do you want it to be like, okay, this particular, I want an option to be able to select which account, which bank do I want, those kind of questions. You ask them questions in usability testing. So that is like a secondary research. So secondary research can like be distributed into two, for the one I'm aware of, into two parts, major parts: conducting the competitive analysis to research more on what you want, to analyze or to gain in-depth knowledge using the products that are on ground, like launched products, to be able to come up with something that are better, like features better than theirs. And also the second part is conducting usability testing to be able to iterate on your idea, so that whatever product you come up with, it will be the best for your users. Do you get that? Did I answer your question? Did I answer your question? So now this primary research now is going to be under the qualitative research. The primary research is going to be under the qualitative research, because for research, okay, let me just get there. So let me explain quality research. Maybe you understand more. You understand what I'm trying to say. Is that fine? Or are you okay with the explanation I gave? Unmute yourself and
Sorry, can
talk.
you repeat? Like my system went off. I have to join with my phone, so I don't understand the last part.
Okay, so where did you still understand?
I stopped at the qualitative competitive analysis, where you maybe the features, what do you say self? You should maybe add bank to their stuff and everything. That's where my system went off. I have to join with my phone.
Okay, so let me just explain qualitative and quantitative research. Let me be done with the research, the definition of research. Then we talk more on it. Is that fine? So by then you might even have like an in-depth knowledge of what I'm trying to say. Okay, so like for qualitative research, the first method is one-on-one interview, where you face-to-face interview with your users, and it helps you to ask the right question. It helps you to ask the right question, because with their body language, even I conducted one-on-one interview like once, and the questions are just coming up and up and up and up. So it was very exciting actually, but it's just the limitation that you may not be able to conduct interview with like 5 or 6 people, though it depends on your strength or ability or time. So the second one is focus group. Focus group is like having a group discussion. So you gather like your users, you gather everybody in the place, and you ask them questions. You ask them questions. You ask their opinions. You observe their reactions. You observe their attitude. So this is like gathering. Now this is not meeting one-on-one. You gather like a group discussion. You gather together. You gather your users together. You gather everyone and ask them questions. So this third one is record keeping. This is when you work based on the documents that you have before. You work based on like existing reliable documents and source of information. So in this particular method, this is where you make research based on what you see on internet. Based on what you see on internet, you can go to you can explore different like social media. You see everything on internet, you see everything. So you can just explore, okay, people challenges with let me still use fintech, challenges with OPay, challenges with PAMPay, challenges with Kuda. So by from people's posts, or from people's posts about their own challenges, you now come up with your own, you come up with a problem statement from it, and bring up a solution for that. You design a product that will counter those challenges or those problems. So this fourth one is observational study. That is observing users in their natural environment to understand their behavior. We have the diary studies, where you capture users' experience over an extended period of time. So here you just put your users. This would be like where you can see your users, you can see them. So whatever thing that you are asking them, like how diary works, occasional, like let's just say like 4 days or 5 days, you just keep documenting their experiences and interaction using a product. So that is for the diary study. Those are the method of qualitative research. Now we are going to quantitative research. Now we are going to quantitative research. Collection and analysis of numerical data. Systematic collection, quantity, it talks about numbers, it talks about amounts. So it is like the systematic collection and analysis of numerical data. It aims to quantify users' behavior, and preference, providing statistical insights into the overall user experience, and it puts a number on the usability of the products. So for this quantitative research now, it is like when you have like a numerical analysis of your data or the information you gathered from your user. Is when you have like a numerical analysis, you put a number, like there's a number on the usability of your products. So, and this quantitative method, it is best used for large sample, when you want to gather information, like large amounts of informations. When you want to gather large amounts of information, that is what this quantitative research is about. So it helps to compare designs and determine if one version is better than the other. So for our A/B testing, like that I said yesterday, our A/B testing, our beta testing, we use this quantitative research to analyze those things, to come up with, to use those to do those testing, to do the A and B testing. That's what we use quantitative research for. So it is often used, like I said earlier, it is often used for larger sample sizes to identify trends and patterns. So we have methods of the quantitative research. The first one is survey and questionnaires, where you gather information, you gather data from a large participants. So this is where you use Google form, you use surveys, you send surveys to like your potential users, and you gather feedbacks from them. And if you've used Google form before, under the responses, you will see that whatever is bringing up, it's always like a numerical analysis. It's always give numbers. It's always give numbers of the responses that you get. Then the second one is A and B testing, like I said, when you compare two or more versions of a design to determine which one works better. Now, for usability, I know I've explained that A/B testing, where you have two versions of a particular product. Like let's say OP, now you have different designs for OP. Now you conduct A and B testing to determine which one works fine. Then the usability testing metrics, that is quantifying aspects such as task completion time, error rate, and success rate. When you're done with your product and you want to conduct usability testing on it, you want to conduct quantitative research on it, when you give your user like tasks some tasks to perform on, you not task them, like you give them tasks, then you record the error time and completion time. You record the error time and the completion time. You record their success rate. How fast were they able to achieve that task? Okay, at the long run, did they finally achieve it or not? So that is for the usability testing metrics. Then for the web analytics, you analyze quantitative data from website usage. For an example, when a developer works on something, when you have a product, we have like the backend parts where you have quantitative data. That is how many people viewed your product, your website that day, how many people logged in, how many people sign up, how many people perform a task, let's say e-commerce, how many people ordered. It's you can only sit at the back end. So this is like the website usage, that is including like how many people clicked on your page today, how many people viewed your website today, how many people registered on your website today. So that is for web analytics. That is analyzing quantitative data from website usage. Okay, now, so Olushola, from what I've explained on quantitative and qualitative research, Olushola, can you hear me? Can you hear
I can
me?
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, so which one do you think, from what I've explained for qualitative and quantitative, which one do you think is primary research and which one do you think is the secondary research?
I think the
Or you still don't understand?
the qualitative is the primary research, I think, and the qualitative is the
Okay,
secondary research.
the quantitative is secondary research.
Yes.
So now the secondary research is basically what you research on after you are done with your products. So it's like the usability testing. So you gather, you are still researching with your usability testing, you are still researching. So that is the primary research and the secondary research. So did I answer your question now, or are you still lost? Do you still need clarification on anything? All right, thank you. So are you guys still with? All right, so thank you. To cover. Okay, so for the user research method, we have this user research method is something you can just read on your own. So I'm going to be sending this note after the class. So it's just like the compilation of both the quantitative and the qualitative research. So we have CAD sorting, we have user testing, we have ethnographic studies, we have survey methods, we have usability testing, remote usability testing, cognitive workshop, and prototype testing. So this, you can just, when I give you the notes, you can just read these ones up. So now we are going to be doing focus now on insight test sentences. We're going to work on insight sentences now. So this insight synthesis is the process of organizing and analyzing the data that has been collected during the research phase. So for where you transform the data that you collected in your empathy stage, when you transform the data that you collect in your empathy stage into something that is into an actionable knowledge that informs design decisions. So this insight synthesis is just like what should I say? It's just the defined stage. Yes, the defined stage. That is the insight synthesis, the defined stage. So it is where it's the process where you analyze and organize the data that was collected during the empathy stage. That's the research phase, during the empathy stage. So now this method involves collecting and organizing raw data from different research methods, such as user interviews, surveys, ability testing, and observational studies. Then the second one is affinity diagramming, where you group similar data together and organize them in groups. So now when you have when you conduct your research, you gather questions, you gather feedbacks, you gather information from your users. Now you like analyze those users. You group the ones that have like the same information, the same informations, the same data, similar data. You group them together. in a way. So when you group all those things together, when you have different groups, it will help you to be able to connect a pattern. It will help you to identify patterns. The way user 1 is connected to user 2, the way the information of user 3 is connected to user 1. So by the time you organize those data, you'll be able to come up with a meaningful problem statement. That is for affinity diagramming. Then we have personas. These personas are like fictional characters in your mind, like that represents group of users. You have them in your mind. Okay, I have this particular user, his name is so. This person needs this is the motivations and needs and all. So they can be used to synthesize data and understand the different types of user that a product or service is designed for. That a product or service is designed for. So user journey, that is the step that the user has to go in a product. So the steps that the way you interact with the products from the beginning to the end, journey, how you were able to achieve this task, how you were able to face difficulty, was complicated at some point. That's for the user journey. Then the fifth one is empathy mapping. Yes, empathy mapping, it helps you to think, it helps you to know what the user feels, what the user think, what the user say, and what the user do. So it's like an illustration of how the user behaves. So that is empathy mapping. Then okay, so we're going to talk on empathy mapping now. Empathy mapping now. So empathy, like I said in the empathize stage, it is to understand your users, understand their pain points, to understand their needs, their motivations, their goals. So that is for empathy stage. That is gaining in-depth understanding, deeper understanding about the user's need, goals, and pain points. So now we have this importance of empathy. I won't talk on that because I've been explaining since, because of our time we have to rush a bit. Then important. See, the first one is that it helps the user to understand, the designer to understand the needs, the motivations and challenges of the users. Because for the empathy stage, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the user. You have to feel like the users. The second one is that it helps you to shift the focus from designer perspective to the user's perspective. That you set aside your own thinking, you set aside your own perspective, you set aside what you think and work towards what the user wants. Then the third one is that empathy encourages designers to consider a diverse range of users. That is, you work with different people from different backgrounds, different users from different backgrounds. You work with people with different abilities, different background, different perspective, so that you have to ensure that your product is accessible by everybody. Then the fourth one is that empathy contributes to building trust between the designer and the users. When your designers, when a designer already knows what the user wants, when the users feel like, okay, this person understands me, I trust this person, there'll be like a kind of trust that, okay, I trust this person to be able to come up with something that's like a solution that will solve my problem. So it helps to build trust between designers and users. Then the fifth one is that empathy helps designers to focus on real problems that users face. So it shifts the design process from creating something that is just visually appealing to address like the challenges that the users face. So that is the fifth one. The sixth one is that it facilitates effective communications between designers, the stakeholders, and the users. Because for UX designer, you said in this particular stage, you have to collaborate with your stakeholders. You have to collaborate with your users. So that you'll be able to convey, you'll be able to understand the user's pain points and needs, and you'll be able to convey it to your clients or to the team. You'll be able to convey it to the team. So those are the importance of empathy. Now I'll be going to empathy mapping. Now, like I said earlier, empathy mapping is just like a tool. It helps you to understand what the user feels, what the user says, what the user says, what the user thinks, and what they do. So empathy mapping are tools in UX design that helps designer understand and empathize with the end user by mapping out their thoughts, feelings, and actions in a specific scenario, and also to gain a deeper understanding of users' thoughts, feelings, and experience. So all this grammar is just that the empathy mapping, it will help you to understand your users the more. You will gain in-depth knowledge of what they feel. We gain in-depth knowledge of what they want, what they think, and what they do. So it helps designers and teams to empathize with users, fostering a human-centric approach to problem solving. So it helps you to be able to center, to make decisions, or come up with solutions that are centered around your users. So now, empathy mapping, that is, this contains what the user says out loud in an interview. What they say out loud, it can be phrase, it can be statements, it can be quotes that will provide perspective or insight on their thoughts, into their thoughts and their perspectives. Then the second, so this is going to make sense when I show you like an example of empathy mapping. So you understand more when I show you an example of empathy mapping. Are we still here? Are you guys still with me? All right, thank you. So the second one is think. The second one is think. So it contains what the user is thinking throughout the process. That's what are the things that matters to the user. What occupies the user's thoughts. It's also pay attention to what the user think, like what they think, but they can't voice it out. So you have to like know what is in their head, what they are thinking, because doing this, it will help you to create trust between them so that they can be free with you. So the third one is does. That is, what are the actions the users are doing? What are they doing physically? It can be maybe they have to refresh a page so many times because the decisions they're taking is too much. It can be that okay, when they want to shop for something, it is complicated. The checkout, it's maybe like okay, the checkout page is complicated, the checkout process is complicated. Okay, I can't seem to find this product, I can't seem to navigate this category. Just different what they do, like an action of what they do. So the action carried out by the users throughout the user's journey when they are using the product. That is what is in the do part. Then the feel, that is the user's emotional state. When you're conducting usability testing or when you're asking question, that is why this one-on-one interview is like the best, because you'll be able to see their reactions. You'll be able to see their reactions. It contains like what worries the users, what excites the users, what is confusing them, what is giving them difficulty, what is frustrating the users, what does their experience, or what is their experience when they are using the products. So that is for the feel. So that's like emotional state. Are they frustrated? Are they happy? Is it exciting? Is it satisfying? Is it confusing? That is the feel part. So how do we create this empathy mapping now? How do we create this empathy mapping? You have to identify your target audience and you know their needs. Then the second one is you gather information through research method, like I said earlier. Then the third one is you draw a rectangle and you split it into four. One will be say, one will be do, one will be feel, and one will be does. Then you use the information that you gathered from your research. Then use the information to fill in the gap. Then this empathy map is now going to like help you to be able to come up with a solution. It's to guide your design thinking process. So that is like an importance of this empathy mapping. So this is an example of an empathy mapping. Can you see this clearly? Is this clear enough? It's clear enough. All right, thank you. Now says that I want to be able to work more quickly. I want to be able to work more quickly. That's what it says. Okay, it says that maybe when performing an action, you say, okay, I really like this picture. That's what it says. Then think is that okay, this pop-up is distracting. This pop-up distracting. I don't want this pop-up. Okay, is this not thinking in your mind that using this product? What is this? Really what's the difference? So this third one is does. Okay, the particular the action that the user takes. Okay, they complete some particular process. Let's say the checkout process. Process, processes. So they complete the necessary processes, they make decisions. This will be for a particular product. They were able to say their work and share with others. Then the feel is they are focused, they were confused at some point. Okay, at some point they were excited, at some point they were curious. So this is like example of this is like an example of empathy mapping. Okay, so I don't know your name. So let me just if you just ask question or anything. Raise your hand, unmute yourself and talk. The time is going. Okay, so the next, so this is like an example of a empathy mapping and empathy mapping. Then we have okay, I doubt if we'll be able to finish this tonight, so let's just see how this goes. So for persona, user persona is like a fictional representation of a specific user segment based on research and data about real user. So it's just like a fictional user, some user that you have in your head, like you just think about okay, this particular person is his name is Soji. Okay, Soji is a man. This. It's just you have it in your head. That includes information about their demographics, that is their bio, their goals, their behaviors, their pain points, their motivations and attitude. So creating user persona, it helps design teams to make more informed and user-centered decisions throughout their development process. So all these things now, all this empathy mapping, user persona, what they do, their goal is just for you to have in-depth knowledge of what the user wants, about the user's pain points and their needs. So that is basically all what these methods are for. So how do we create user persona? Firstly, you research, you use your research data, like the information you gathered. To create like one or more person to represent different users. Then second one is add details and give a naming process. Then you define their goals, the goals and the objective of the users. Then identify users' need and pain points. What challenges do they face? What solutions are they trying to look for? What problem are they facing? Then you understand the users. You understand the user's behavior, their preference, and their decision-making processes. That is how they interact with this. How they interact with. Then you review and validate is accurate and represent target audience, and you use the persona as a reference point during your design process. So like I said, whatever thing that you are doing is just for you to understand your user, and you come up with like just create templates that can guide you during your design thinking process. So now, what are the importance of user persona? It promotes a user-centered design approach. It makes your design, your products understanding real users. Then the second one is it helps team. It fosters empathy among team members. that you think about the target audience as a real human being and making their needs more tangible. The fourth one is that it serves as a guide prioritizing features, functionalities, and design elements based on the research that is their needs and preference. So now I'm going to look at an example, like two examples of user persona. That I give you an assignment for next week. Is this clear? Can you see this? Is this picture clear? All right, thank you. So we're going to talk on this particular user persona. Now, this person, please, am I audible? My network went off. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me? All right, thank you. So now this is like a potential user. This is an example of a persona. Now, this man is called John Matthews. This is how your persona should look like, or even more better than this. This man is called John Matthew. He's 47 years old. You can see that is like this is like a fictional character. Like in your head, you just like envision this in your head. So he's 47 years old. He's married with two children. He has a postgraduate, and those are his the bios that were provided. Then now we have like a short bio of what John does and his pain points and needs. So John is a CEO of an advertising agency and has a lot on his plate every day. As chief executive officer, he has to keep himself alert during meetings and the decision-making processes. He understands that health is the most critical factor for his work performance. John is a very health conscious. John is very health conscious and makes sure that he's physically fit. He finds time to exercise and eat healthy food. Now, even from this bio, what can you come up with here? Can someone just tell me like what you can come up with here based on this bio? Please, I need response.
Like,
Time out for me.
man, can you explain better what you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that okay, this bio now it gives you what John wants. In this bio, it has like what John wants, their needs, like his problem statements, his problem. So can you feel sure, like, can you come up with, let's just say one problem that John has from the bio? Is a CEO of an organizing advertising agency. He has a lot on his plate. As chief executive, he has to keep himself alert during meetings and decision making processes. He understands that health is critical factor for his
I
work
think it's
performance. John is very health conscious. So can you come up with something from the bio given?
Ma, is this something related, like a bio like this, or I still don't understand, ma.
What I'm saying is that from what I just read about John, can you come up with something that John wants, like a problem? One problem that John has with this bio that I read now, this John's bio. But you can see it, right? Okay, so let's
Yes,
move
ma.
forward. Oh, you
Health,
want to say
health,
something?
health is the problem. Health.
Okay, okay, he has an health problem. All right, so let's just move forward. Let me explain more. So now that is John's bio. Now, what motivates John? He loves work performance. Yeah, he loves when we have like a brilliant work performance. a brilliant work performance. Then he loves to keep focus. He loves to keep Okay, now health habits. Like you said health is like a problem. So health habits, he has he exercise 30 minutes every day. He has a regular 30 minutes exercise. He has a strict diet plan, and he always keep hydrated. He's always hydrated. Now, those are his health habits. Now, moving to this, what does John want? Now, based on the fact that he said he's a busy person, he has a lot on his plate every day. And he also said that he understands that health is the most critical factor for his work performance. For the motivation, we said that work performance motivates him. So now what he wants is that the first thing is that he wants to look for an alternative way to save time for exercise in a busy schedule. Like I said earlier, it is stated here that he exercises regularly. He has like a 30 minutes exercise every day. But due to his busy schedule, he always finds time to exercise and eat healthy food because he believes that health is the most critical factor for his work performance. So are you getting what I'm trying to say? Like, are you getting it? All right, Olushola, are you getting it? You are lost. All right. Okay, should I start again? Talk. Time is going on. All right. So now, this is John. John is 47 years old. This is John, a user. He's 47 years old. He's married with 2 children. He has a postgraduate studies. Now, John is a CEO of an advertising agency. He has a lot on his plate every day. He's busy. So as this chief executive officer, he has to keep himself alert during meetings and decision-making processes as the CEO. Now, John now understand that even though he's busy, he understands that health is like the most critical factor for his work performance. He has to be healthy for him to have like an excellent work performance. Now, John is also very health conscious. And make sure that he's eats healthy food because he always wants to be fit. Do you get that part, Olushola? Do you get that? The John's health habits. First thing is that he always exercise regular 30 minutes every day. He always have a regular 30 minutes exercise. He has a strict diet plan. He's always keeping himself. Oh my god. Hello, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? All right. So he always keep himself hydrated. That is health habits. Now, what motivates John? Excellent work performance. He always wants to be focused and family. Those are the things that motivate him. Now, what is okay? Let's start from the frustration. What frustrates John? John's frustration. The first thing is that he always misses daily exercise because of his busy schedule. I think you understand that like this. So he always misses daily exercise because of his hectic schedule. Then the second one is that he's unable to adhere to his eating, healthy eating at parties or meetings. He has covetousness. It's always hard for him to adhere to his eating habits. We said in his health habit that he has a strict diet plan. Do you understand that? Are you getting the flow now? All right. So now these are the things that frustrate John. Now, what does John want? Those are his frustration. What does he want? Okay, now John wants an alternative, a better alternative for him to find time or save time to exercise in his busy schedule, just to solve his frustration. Do you get that? So we had to look for an alternative or create a product that will make John save time for his exercise every day, even though he's busy. Do you understand that? Do you understand the wants now, or are you still confused? All right. JT Ob. Okay, I'll be calling you JT Ob now. Are you cool? Are you cool? Do you understand? All right, thank you. So now the second one is that you want to explore other options, like other training options. He does not want to just focus on the normal 30-minute exercise that he does. He wants to be able to explore other options, other training options, like, okay, can he have an exercise of 30 minutes or can he have an exercise of 20 minutes? So the product is now going to calculate based on the to-do list that he inputs. Obviously the product is going to have like a to-do list for him to input his schedules for the day. Now, he wants to be to explore other options, like maybe I can have a 30-minute exercise. Okay, this might be schedule, I can have 30 minutes. I can have like 25 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, even though I am working, is there like options in a way that even though I'm working, I can still exercise? Different exercise, like different fitness options. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you get what I'm like trying to say? Hello, did you get me? No. Okay. So this is like a good example of a user persona. So based on this now, you can see that you already understand what John wants. You already understand what John's pain points, what John is frustrated on. Now from this, you'll be able to come up with a product that will solve John's problem. So that is the first persona. Let's quickly look at the second one before we call it a day. Then this is Nina. Okay, can we finish this before? Okay, so let's quickly rush through this. This is Nina. Nina is a book addict. Nina says that book is way better than movie. She's 25 years old. She lives here. She's a software engineer. She lives with her boyfriend and all. Those are Nina's demographics. Now, Nina, we said that Nina is a book addict. Now, what are Nina's goals? She loves to discover new books to read. She loves to find unique stories. She loves to have catalogs of book collections. So those are goals of Nina. Okay, does anyone have a question? Please quickly come up with this. Time is going.
Ma, the image is not really clear, please.
Okay, you can't see this. Can you see
Yes,
it now?
I can see. It's not really clear.
Okay.
It's better though, but still not clear, but it's manageable.
You can zoom your own screen.
Are you
You
sure
can zoom it.
Okay, can you zoom it
Like,
on your own screen?
Ma?
Can you zoom it on your
Yes,
own
I
screen?
can zoom.
Okay, so let's quickly do this, check this before time goes. So now these are as goals. She wants to discover books. She loves to have catalog of book collections and all. Now, Nina's reading habits. She's a fast-paced reader. She never learns books. She always wants to have her own book. Please, am I still audible? It's raining here. Okay, so she wants to be able to, she like is a fast reader. She never learns book. She likes hard covers. She pre-orders books to get them first. She reads ebook. She prefers soft book than but she reads ebook though, but she prefers physical copies. She will always finish her books and she always read a book. Like she always reread books. She always read a book again. So those are the reading habits. Now, what frustrates Nina? Now, Nina has a problem with keeping track of different series. You know, books have series, right? Please, am I still audible? Because I'm basically shouting here. Okay, so Nina has a problem. She has a problem with keeping track of different series. You know, book has series. We have volume 1, we have volume 2, we have volume 3. So the second one is that she always forgets a book launch date. The third one is that she finds space for more books. Now we have Nina's frustration now. With this now, we'll be able to come up with a problem, a product that will solve Nina's frustration. Do you get that? Do you understand this part? Do you get this part? Okay, now what does Nina want? Nina wants to be able to discover books to read. He wants to be able to find unique stories. She wants to be able to have a catalog of his book collection, of her book collections. So now, I'm going to give you an assignment on this. I want you to come up with a product. So give me features of products to solve these two personas. Like you have their problem statement, solutions. Did you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Don't worry, it's not something hard. So now you have, like I've explained earlier, you have your products, you have your information now. You have the information you need. Now come up with a product. Just like give me like a presentation, like 5 minutes. Just give me like a presentation on how we can solve Nina's problem and John's problem. Do you get that? Do we understand? Okay, are you still lost? Let me know. Are you confused? Let me know. Let me know. I trust you guys. With all the talk that I've been talking, I know you guys can come up with something. So, okay, this will be the end of today's class. Do you have any question, please? No, I trust you guys. Don't worry. I'm your user now. You're the designer. Come and give me solutions. You understand? All right. So do you have any any question? Any question?
Okay, how is the product going to look like?
Okay, so do we understand today's class now? Do we understand today's class? Okay, I'll come up with a problem statement. Just give me like 2 sentences. Now to be able to do this. Then come up with solution. Okay, due to the fact that Nina wants this particular thing, we can create. Okay, let's say that we want to create a mobile app. Okay, we can create a mobile app that has this particular feature. Since she wants this particular thing, we can create a mobile app that has this thing. You understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say now? Just come up with solutions. It's not necessary it has to be perfect. Just remain so length.
It's not necessary we come up with a solution with this app, right? Can just come up with a solution with another product, right? Hello.
I think she said we have to work on the John's problem and this X problem.
John's problem with an earth problem. It will give us this thing now, the product. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. What's the product all about? Okay, the product is all about earth, right? They can take work on that.
Yes, like you create the products for the solution for John's problem and the solution for Nina's problem too.
So, thank you.